Hey guys, AK-47 Master here. Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In this episode, we are going to be continuing to interrogate Miss Old Bitch, Bag, in the courtroom. So, the other person, time for some testimony. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security camera, or computer, and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. What? You threw out a photo? Mrs. Oldbag, this is the first time I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've just remembered it. Great answer. Right, anyways, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Alright. The other person. Alright, you can pretty much skip all this testimony, except for the one part where she says she did remember throwing out a photo that day. That's the one part that is very suspicious and worth pressing on. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased? Hump? A fanboy. Fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging around. One was there that day. Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The gate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids. So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Phoenix's reaction, oh god. Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. I'd like to take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information, and no forgetting vital information this time. Alright, Chief. Mr. WP? Yes? Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio. I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? Who should I know? How should I know? Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? Yeah, you should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So where does that leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick, what are we going to do? First we pay for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. Now was the quickest 5 minutes ever. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Sniff. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. You accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who is this other person than Mr. Powers that could have committed the crime? The security lady. She's the one who watches the computer and she has access to it. She could have erased a photo of her going to Studio One. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this photo. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper. Order. Is this true, Miss Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Well, I said Miss Oldbag, so whatever. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio One, the scene of the murder. Why would you go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simply, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes, the second, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there and do nothing. Do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this all the way. Press further, give Granny a break, press further. We gotta buy time, so we have to press further. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forgot that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it to be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? Obviously it'll be the samurai spear. Your Honor, the murder weapon was a samurai spear. That very spear is shown here in this photo. How could the boy have taken the spear? It's impossible. I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag. Speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy... What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. The court is adjourned. Alright, we survived. Wait a second! Or did we? I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking. Oh great, stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. What? Not to talk about? But by whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. My lips were sealed, alright. Global Studios warned me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag. This is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination? And that we will give on the next episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So I am AK-47 Master, and I'm signing out.